Let's get let's get
G'day, everybody. Welcome to Sketch Biz. We are back for another episode and we're going to be drawing along. Today, I've got a fantastic local Australian guest with me today, Ben Bradi. Welcome to the show. And
Hey,
welcome to the chaos.
yeah, thanks, dude. This is cool. This is pretty crazy. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining me. I sort of stumbled across your stuff at Supernova in June. You were there, correct? In Sydney?
Yes, I was.
I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah.
I try and keep track of whatever the crap I do. So you have this fantastic, beautiful, just, I don't know, portraiture rendition work. And did I read correctly that you you prefer oil painting at the moment?
Yeah, I've gone full oils
Wow.
lately, so yeah, pretty
Yeah.
fun.
I think you got a little bit of backbone there to be able to give that a crack. I remember trying oils when I was in school, and it was just absolutely, yeah. I'm not going to go back there, and I can't deal with the stink. But it's obviously working for you. Like, your stuff is incredible. It's the rendering and the
Thank
lighting
you.
and just the color theory and stuff. Like, really, really pretty. Um, as an artist, maybe give everyone a bit of a rundown of, like, who you are, what you do, and kind of the work that you've been focusing on recently.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, long time artist, I guess, like everyone else. But I've always been digital, really, because I've kind of fell into doing art for online gaming websites, doing and everything's digital when it comes to commercial stuff. I did a lot of digital art and kind of like improved my art, or at least learn the fundamentals in that digitally. So I've been like digital artist for the longest time. Yeah, at least what, 13 years, which will give you a sense of how old I am. So after doing a bit of digital work and always trying to kind of like big comic fan, big Marvel fan, big all pop culture fan, just nerd, I've always been trying to kind of like break in, I suppose, like I guess every artist trying to kind of like get in. And
Hmm.
so got a pretty crazy opportunity getting to do some Marvel license cards for Upper Deck during COVID, which was, yeah, what's that, like 4 years ago now?
God, I
And
think
then
we've all blacked that out.
yeah, right? It's crazy that it was that long. It doesn't feel that long ago, but yeah, it was a total
No.
that was our own version of the blip. Um, so
That's a
it's
good
like,
way to put it, actually.
yeah.
That's pretty clever.
It's just like, "Oh, yeah, that's right, that happened."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that kind of fell at the right time because I had a lot of time, I was at home, and so I was able to focus
Hmm.
on getting some art done, and then having to wait 2 years for that to release, but it was still that excitement of being like, "Holy crap, I'm doing some Marvel stuff."
Yeah.
And then that came out, and I was obviously it was well received, and got to notice a lot of other artists that worked on the set and familiarize myself with a lot of traditional artists.
Hmm.
And one of the bigger ones was Dan DeSantos, who would later the year that it came out, well, I think the year before did the Marvel Masterpieces set. And his work was like it looked digital, but it was all oil
Mm.
paintings. His work's pretty insane. And so when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if I can do that because it's cool doing digital work, like, but it is cool to just have something tangible in your hand that you can like put up on the wall. And the other thing is that I realized that there's this market for art, and original
Mm.
art, and I had no idea. And so as soon as the cards came out, there was a huge call of like collectors being like, "Do you have the originals? Do you have any pencils?" And everything was digital, so there was nothing to give. And so I was like, I gotta change that. And so yeah, I just bit the bullet and just sat in and watched like Dan DeSantis actually has an amazing Patreon, which has instructions on how to do oil painting,
Wow.
and was just able to take the art skill that I had digitally and just learn a new medium and just try and kind of transfer that skill set into, yeah, a new tool, I suppose.
That's
It
awesome.
took a little while, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was been well worth it, and, like, now I love it, like, I now it's like, yeah, I love being able to use a pencil again and, like, things like
Yeah.
that, like, it's really cool.
Mhm.
See, I probably
And
talked a
speaking of
lot there, so I
pencils,
apologize.
no, yeah, dude, no, we're here to learn about you, so it's totally fine.
Yeah,
Please speak all you want.
all good.
But speaking of pencils, we're going to be drawing today. So before
Yes.
we keep going on, where the topic that you have chosen is Loki. You said you had a commission to be able to do that, so I'm just going to tag along. I'm just going to practice because I've been drawing and coloring stuff all day, so I just need something to sort of wind down because it is the end of the day for me. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. Um,
Yeah, no.
yeah, and we'll just keep having a yarn. So I'm going to be doing, I think a bust. I think I'm just going to do a bust because I don't want to go too crazy. What's your What's your plan of attack for your? Have you been given a
Yeah.
direction for yours at all?
No, no real direction, but I'm kinda wanting to do something. It's gonna be kind of because it's gonna be painted, it's gonna be small format, so that's about the
Hmm.
size of the original. So I gotta be
Oh wow,
wary of, like, how much detail I can kind of fit on that. So because of that,
wow,
I'll probably have to go with, like, a bust or something at least in that vein so that I'm not trying to cram in detail too much on a small piece. So I'm gonna try and just do a few thumbnails, see if I can get make some kind of interesting composition while I'm doing this, rather than just, just a stand up, I
just
suppose, like
going full
standard
bore into
bus
it.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you find that you need to be quite particular with your composition and what you draw when it comes to your pieces because you do have to take into the fact that you're using oil paints and oil paints can be quite tricky to use?
Yeah, they are. So the size is important, for
Hmm.
2 reasons. The bigger the piece, the longer it takes to complete, really, because there's just a lot more paint required. And reality is, like, in doing it, I've kind of learned that, if you can if I kinda, like, judge the size of my canvas based upon the size of the head in the
Hmm.
composition, so the
Hmm.
head's about, like, I don't know what that is, maybe about 4 centimeters, maybe just about bigger than
Okay,
an inch.
just over an inch. Yeah,
Is it? Yeah, it's just enough to kind of fill in enough detail to get some likeness and kind of a bit of character in it, so once I've got a composition of that, I can kind of scale out how big I need to go in order to kind of be able to do something decent. Yeah, so that's kind of how I'll base it, for my paintings, but sometimes I'll do stuff just because bigger paintings look more impressive and it's cool. You can go a little lean a little bit more detail if you've got the time for it.
yeah, that's it. But I saw like what was the one? Was it Wonder Woman that you did recently? So,
What's
oh,
the recent
Rogue,
one? Rogue, yeah, the Rogue
Rogue.
painting, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was huge. Well,
yeah,
say huge, but
that's, it's about A3 size, that one there.
oh, yep, yep.
Um,
Okay, so obviously
yeah.
perspective. I was seeing completely different.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you zoom in up close and everything's tightened up,
Yeah,
yeah, you can blow it up pretty big. But yeah, I do have it in a folder somewhere, so it isn't that big.
yeah. Okay, all
But
right.
yeah,
But it's either way, still impressive. I don't even care. Yeah,
yeah, no,
that's
it's cool.
cool. And you so following that, working for Upper Deck, did you obviously didn't work to size because I know that obviously cards are quite small. Did you
Hmm.
work true to size or did you go for, something bigger and scale it down through a scan?
Yeah, well, they were all digital, so they were kind of
Oh, okay.
all the yeah, so they were all kind of just
No, you did say that.
whatever
Yeah,
the
that's me.
card size was. So I
Mhm.
can kind of like do what I want. But yeah, there is a bit of a kind of freedom to kind of working with limitations somehow. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, because you are working in a format that's going to be viewed small, you don't want to work too big because a lot of that
Yeah.
detail that you spend time in is just lost completely.
Yeah.
So it is kind of limits you a little bit. So like I've done other things in that similar kind of size format. And yeah, I've kind of like limited the size to about an A3. I don't want to go too much bigger than that. Because it does feel like a little bit of wasted time, to
Yeah,
do.
I'd recommend that to anyone as well. I know that some people like to work really big because they do like doing a lot of detail, and then obviously when they scan it in, they scale it down to whatever print size that the publisher's looking for. And half the time, a lot of that stuff's not actually not tangible. viable when it comes to when you print it because it doesn't work with the DPI or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's just wasted energy pretty much.
Yeah, it is a little bit. That's but the only one thing I would say that is good about working larger is what I found from collectors is they do
Mm,
like large sizes.
mm,
So but at A3s, like A3, I always forget what the inches is on that.
yeah,
But
A3 17, sort of like the standard American sort of
yes, yes.
comic book board size, which what I work in, but I wouldn't go any bigger. Like it would just be worthless.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like what I work on majority. I have done a few recently which has been a little bit bigger, mainly because they're, I guess, more interesting characters, and the collectors that would like that character would probably prefer it larger, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
without me
yeah.
saying too much.
Well, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Signed an NDA, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
sorry.
I totally get that. Like it's I've found I was in the sort of same boat. Like I just deadlines kind of get the best of you, and you just want to make sure that you're meeting the deadlines for one. But then you just get stuck. I don't know. I felt like I got a bit stuck in that, and I just got too comfortable with it, maybe. And then I felt like my work was suffering for a little while there because I was relying on the digital side of things a little bit too much.
Mm,
And I used to be such a person that would be like, I never ever want to be a digital person. I don't want to do it. It's not for me. I used to be like, oh God, a little shithead and it's not real art. What I say about
yeah,
AI now, but which, that
yeah,
definitely isn't really real. Um, but now, like I got into it obviously because I'm having to meet the deadlines, but now I had to go back to doing traditional because just my work was starting to get really, really sloppy. Um,
yeah.
did you find that your work sort of elevated once you decided to turn into going traditional?
Yeah, it's a weird hack, to be honest.
Mm, mm,
I don't quite understand why it works and how it does, but um, I think the I guess the messier the piece is, like, it's not messy, but kind of like the brushstrokes are very forgiving, and it almost looks stylized. Like it almost looks like, oh, that's the style. It's painterly, but I look at it coming from digital. I was like, that looks unfinished. But then when I'm working on it traditionally, it's like if I take it to a finish, it doesn't look as good. So I got to find this like little happy thing where I go like really detailed and really clean in some areas, and then other areas I'll leave rather loose. And that makes for an even better image. So weirdly, I'm faster because of it, because I'm spending less time painting it up, which kind of makes up working traditionally. But yeah, I definitely have found like my colors, especially because that was my biggest, struggle. I avoided colors for the longest time, because
mm,
I didn't get it. I just could not get it. And,
mm.
like, I know a lot of people have trouble with color, and I don't know, as soon as I started working traditionally and just literally mixing the colors directly with each other, and then properly understanding cool colors and warm colors, I realized I was like, "Oh, that's how colors work. Oh,
Yeah, but
saturation. Oh, that's."
it's also
It's
light and how the sun and different times of the day completely change how color looks. Like that is color theory. Color theory cannot come from an RGB screen. You can get the fundamentals, but you cannot get that actual full true part of it.
No, definitely not. And I think there's also, like, it's also just understanding those relationships, right? So it's not even like
Mm,
it's not even the color itself, but just understanding that it's all a relationship with the color next to it. So
yeah,
like you've got your local colors that everybody obviously, Loki's predominantly green, so he's got to have green, but if he's in a purple lit room, it's no longer green. It's another thing
yeah,
altogether.
not at all.
It's all grays, and you've got to kind of like pull the green out of the gray. So it's funny, but you don't do that digitally because digitally we're just normally we go like, oh, okay, fill with green, and then you use an overlay layer or something, and
Yeah.
you kind of like hack away until you got something that looks right. But there's no. It almost feels fluke a little bit sometimes when you're working digitally. You're like, oh, that looks cool, as opposed to like, I know why that looks cool. Uh,
Yes, yes. And that I think a lot of people get hung up on the fact that they just get angry that they can't learn it instead of just actually enjoying the process of learning it because it is so much fun getting your hands dirty. Maybe that's why I was so against it, because it took that fun away from it, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a weirdo.
Yeah, it's like but yeah, for me, it's like I found I don't know, I'd been trying to kind of like I think like everyone else, everyone's still trying to kind of like get those dream jobs and gigs. We're trying to kind of like everyone's like art goals, I suppose.
Mm,
And yeah, I was starting to kind of lose my art mojo at the near the end of that digital thing, and so I think it almost came at the right time where I was like, "Oh, this is something different. I can learn something new, and like I can make mistakes because I don't know what I'm doing." And in that experimentation, the kind of fun for art came back a little bit as well,
that's it.
which was
Yeah.
yeah, it was just really really cool.
I
See,
always
this
tell
is a
people,
really
like, when you get really, I don't know, some people get so worried about making mistakes or anything like that, but I find it very invigorating and also very exciting, because I like to understand why that was a mistake and how I can make it better. And I do still, I mean, as much as it hurts me on the inside to look at some old work, it's also, I can tell that I've actually progressed, because now I know that I can see what was wrong, or what could have been improved, or what could have been a little bit more, I don't know, fluent, that sort of thing. And I always try and recommend to people, just like, don't stress so hard about the fact that you're not where you are, need to be. More stress about the fact that if you can't see it, that's more of an issue.
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, I've been doing yeah, it's yeah, I think that also a lot of artists will kind of avoid their weaknesses. Like I know
Yeah.
I did that a lot,
And
like
that's
color
only
was
human,
one of
right?
those.
Mm.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I would just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna just do pencils," or, "Oh, I'm just gonna do pencils and ink," and then I'd slowly kind of almost, like, get that little bit of bravery or confidence to, like, "Okay, screw it, I'm gonna try colors digitally," and then that's what started that off, and then kind of, like, managed to start a little bit of career with it and actually make some money, which made the parents happy and realize I wasn't wasting my time.
Yeah,
But
that old trope. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, it's one thing I tell, like, a lot of, young artists will come and ask, I'll be like, "Yeah, like, what do you have difficulty with?" Or if I look at their portfolio, I can just point out, like, the key tropes of, like, people's issues with, like, anatomy or issues with, like,
Mm.
just, putting hands in pockets or, hiding feet behind rocks and grass, like, it's like, just do a few pages of feet and that's it, you'll understand feet, like, it doesn't take a lot.
No,
It just takes a little bit of study, and yeah,
you're
you'll
not gonna
you'll
be a
get there.
master anytime soon, but at least give it a crack, and then you probably see
Yeah,
improvement quite quickly.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah, I think that's kind of how I always have these, like, moments where I'm like, I kinda get fed up or I get frustrated and I'm like, "Damn it, I'm just gonna learn this," and that's that, and I just disappear for a while, which is what oils was, like, I just
Hibernate.
recently, yeah, hibernate in a way, yeah. I kind of I have
Mm.
a very patient wife who allows me to kind of disappear for a while, and just get into my art. But yeah, just recently I was just like, I'm gonna learn airbrushing because it's a quick way to fill a canvas with paint. And so
Mhm.
I just went, bought all the stuff, and I'm like, now I can learn it. Now I know how to do airbrushing. It's just a matter of like making some mistakes, and then figuring it out along the way.
It's so much fun. You'll love it.
Yeah. Oh, it really is a lot of fun. It's also
Mhm.
super messy. Can you see I
Oh,
get paint
yeah.
all over me. It's,
And you go like, "Oh, no, I
um,
only need 1 pot. I only need 1 pot or 2 pots. It'll be fine. I'll just wash it out." No, don't. Get
yep.
10 at least.
No. Yeah, I gotta get another gun. That's what I've noticed. One
Yeah.
airbrush, gun is not enough.
Nope.
Oh, well.
Not at all. I actually pulled mine out the other day. I found it in, storage, and I've got the little, like,
Oh,
Copic marker attachment for it. So I was gonna give that another little crack, instead of me just, like, blowing through a straw, and I just keep giving myself, like, a bloody heart attack, um, passing out on my table. But
what do you mean blowing
it's
through a straw?
so
I've
if
not heard of
you
this technique.
I did it. It could get a little bit messy as well. So if you get your marker, right, and
Yeah,
then I'll see if I can do it on this when I get to the end. But if you just get like a standard straw, put it right on the tip, or usually you use your chisel edge or a Sharpie, whatever, and you just blow, it will spray all your ink everywhere, but it is a little bit like, imagine drunk behind the wheel. It's just got to kind of
Oh,
go,
okay.
have its own mind in terms of where it got to go. So you just really need to be careful and practice a couple times. But if you just like say convention or something like that, and you need to do a quick like spray or whatever, that's one way you can get it done.
That is cool. I am gonna try that.
I wish I could take credit for it, but it was like a 10-year-old on YouTube. It's just like,
Oh, really?
I know.
Damn, that's an
I was like,
impressive 10-year-old.
this little guy. The main reason I was trying to look for it because I had blow pens as a kid, which was like they were actually particularly made ones that you actually did blow through, and they had a little nozzle, and you could point to where you want to go. And I was like, well, can I like 3D print one? Because we bought a 3D printer, and I was like, can I actually do it so I can take it to conventions instead of like, I don't know, taking like the airbrush or whatever it is. And yeah, so I was looking for that and seeing if there was an STL that I could print off for it. But nah, this little 10-year-old legend was just like, just use a straw. You'll be right. Done.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I love stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah. Yeah.
That is so
So
cool.
nostalgia,
Yeah.
blow pens coming in hard.
Yeah, it's like I think when I watch, Simone Bianchi work and he'll just, like, spit on his stuff
Oh, yeah.
to kinda, like, smudge the paint, and I'm like, "That's so cool."
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna do that one day.
There's a lot of artists, like, especially a a lot of, painters that used to do that to be like, this is mine. And at the end, they would just
Yeah.
like slobber all over it to be like, well, my DNA's in this. Too bad.
That's the certificate of authenticity is a DNA
Yeah, yeah,
test
pretty much.
on
That's it.
canvas.
DNA profile on there. Ah,
I love that. That's so, so cool.
yeah. So, did you like where do you see yourself going? Like, do you want to just continue on doing just like the pin-up sort of stuff, or would you like to do sequentials? Because I know that's a completely different field. Or do you want to do for more like the fine art stuff, posters or cover work? Is that sort of
Yeah.
your jam?
I think at the moment that is, my jam, just
Mhm.
'cause in the especially working in oils, doing a sequential page would probably
Oh,
I need to
probably not. I
I need
wouldn't
to
suggest it.
meditate on that for a while,
If you're not
but,
used to inks,
I
don't bother.
no, no, like, but I do love, I do love seeing Alex Ross's work in Kingdom Come and things where he's done, like, the Fantastic Four and there's, like,
Mm.
watercolor acrylic pages, but they're
Yeah,
like a
yes,
mission
yeah. I get you. I get
to
that. You
complete.
you guys have very similar styles.
Yeah, like, I could see myself attempting something like that as, like, a personal work. I don't know if I would ever try and do that for, like, one of the big studios or even for an indie, unless yeah, just 'cause I don't I'm not at that level yet, like, in terms of my skill set. I'm s like I said, I'm literally 2 years into oil painting. I think attempting a sequential page of oils or something like that
No,
would
I would
be a
never
little
do
much.
sequentials and oils. But if you like ever got
No.
into inking and stuff like that, yeah, that like whether that would be something you'd want. But yeah, you like oils in itself,
I
I would
have
yeah. Oh, pinups only, really. That's basically your limit.
I did do it. Bit
Really?
of a yeah, I'll give you a bit of a history lesson on Ben. No, but,
Mm,
like, back when I was, because I did wanna be a sequential artist. That was my
okay.
original thing, was to do interiors, and I did the whole thing, in 2011. Did my Batman sample pages,
Hmm.
and went over. I had done some work for Blue Water Productions. They'd got, like, they do a lot of those Fame series, books now. They're quite I don't know, there's a little bit of controversy behind them. But,
Mm,
anyway, it was kinda like my little foot in the door to try to, like, attempt interiors, and so I got to do, interiors for, like, 3 books, what was it? It was like I had, like, a 10th Muse and Isis character, and
hmm.
then they did 2, like, biography books. One was, Al Franken, and I don't know if you remember the show Glee. That
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
like, really big at the time, so I did, like, interiors and covers and stuff for that, which were pretty cool. That was kind of fun to do, but that was a
Didn't
lot
know
of
that was a
work,
thing.
and I think yeah, well, I don't think anyone found them. No one knows it was a thing.
But they exist. That's the important
They
thing.
exist. yes, the art exists. I have some of the files on my, DeviantArt from back in the day. But yeah, it's, yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so that was my attempt at doing interiors, and that almost killed me, because that was a lot of work.
It's
Um,
brutal, isn't it?
but I was like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I had the energy for it at the time. And then, yeah, did the whole thing, went to San Diego and did my attempt, and I didn't get much traction. I just wasn't ready. Like, that's the reality of
Yeah,
it. I just was nowhere near what I needed to be. And then after that, I kind of gave up a little bit on art for a while because I was like a little burnt out from that whole thing, and I didn't have the best experience working um, with that studio. So I'll put that in. Yeah, working because I take. Yeah. Anyway, I
yeah.
won't. I won't say
I
much.
get it.
But yeah. So after that, I was like, I just pretty much got into working in games and just doing art for that, which was good and paid the bills. But you still wanna do it.
Yeah,
But yes, I kind of just started doing more, I started focusing my work towards doing things like Magic the Gathering, doing a little bit more fantasy stuff, and, like, the art from Riot. I used to love their splash art that they would do.
yeah, cool.
So I would, yeah, I'd be like, "Okay, can I get my digital work to look that good?" And so I just went on a
Mm,
bit of a mission, to get my stuff to that level, and then doing that I did 2 pieces, which were, like, 2 kinda splash pieces for it was like a Wolverine fan art and a Batman fan art,
mm.
and I think those were the ones that, came across the art directors at Upper Deck and got me in, and then
Wow.
from then on, I've just pretty much just been focusing on more pin-uppy style art, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably your niche, and I feel like that's where you're at
Yeah.
home, and that's how I discovered your stuff, was seeing, the videos that you've been putting up of doing all that work, and I love the fact that you use that, the floating, I wouldn't say ruler, but like armrest. Is that what you
Oh,
like
yeah.
to and I need one because I'm a left-hander. I know it shouldn't really make too much of a difference, but God, I'm messy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
you
I thought that was
definitely need
clever.
it with the paint. Yeah, I
Mhm.
that was one of those things that I picked up from Dan DeSantos's,
Yeah.
I actually did a so I kinda went, this is one of those things where last year I kinda told the wife, I was like, "Look, I'm just gonna go for it."
Mhm.
And so I signed up for his mentorship class, um, end
Beautiful.
of last year and was like, yeah, picked up a bunch of tips and tricks on, like, how to work, and one of those was, like, having that stick there to stop your hand falling into the paint while you
Yeah.
work. And that was really good. So, yeah, I got to learn I did, like, a little bit of a kind of, like, crash course on, like, oils and then just kept painting, I suppose, and then people were
Mm.
interested in it, so that always helps. Um, and then, yeah, just kept going.
I
So,
still
I forgot
like I
what
still
the question was.
oh
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's I don't even remember myself, don't worry. But I always find that people get so I don't know, what's the like almost shocked or something when I tell them you just need to do the work. That's the only way that it's going to work. And I used to be that person that would be like, I'm already good. I'm already really good. I should already have a job, like all that kind of crud. And I was just like, I look back at that work. I'm like, my God, Lauren, you're actually awful. But I needed a good kick up the bum to be able to tell myself that no, I needed to do the work. And that was the only thing that worked. And then as soon as I realized that, and as soon as I started enjoying the fact that I needed to do that, it just explodes. Work just
Yeah.
becomes like exponentially better.
Yeah, it really is. Like, so much so, like, I recently, I can't mention it, but I recently got something that I've kind of wanted, like, forever, like
Hmm.
a gig, kinda like the dream gig.
Yeah,
But
cool.
and I'd applied last 5 years pretty much, been kind of annoying him about it, but it's finally kinda happened. And it
Yeah,
really came down to them just going like, "You're ready now, like, your work's at a level where, yep, okay, we can kind of trust you in a way," right?
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's what it is. It's like because I could have even with, like, the Marvel cards, I could have been like, "Alright, I'm a legend, like, that's me, like, everyone should own me,"
yeah.
but I was like, "No, no, I gotta push, I gotta keep improving," I think, like, there is no finish line with art. You just keep learning and improving and developing,
And also, why
and
would you want
so,
to
yeah.
stop? It's so exciting and
It
so much fun. I just, yeah,
it
yeah, I
is,
get
it
it.
is. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I always kinda, like, when I speak with, like, other art mates and stuff, it's just like, I do this without the pay, right? Like, I was already doing the art with no one paying me, so someone's paying me, even if it's like a small amount, that allows me to, number one, continue to train and be able to kind
Mhm.
of fund that training. And then at the same time, it kind of like, it's just like slowly progressing and getting, better and more professional. You learn to work with art directors, you learn to like communicate, like all of that other stuff that, artists don't think about that's required, like even just understanding a brief and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
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 that just comes with, like, you wanna do that with, like, the little guys, you don't wanna be figuring that out when you're already with the big guys, I
yeah. Don't
suppose.
burn bridges either. Like, you don't know if these little guys are
Yeah,
gonna be coming back, a million times
exactly.
harder in the next, like, 10 or 5 to 10 years or whatever. Like, treat people with respect, lead with kindness, and it always pays you back. That's the biggest thing I always tell people that, like, "Oh, just you've, like, really made it work for you and stuff." I'm like, "I just put good out and good comes back." It sounds really hippie. I don't believe in any of that juju, but I firmly believe if you're a good person, the good stuff is gonna come back to you, you know?
100%. I
Mm.
completely agree with that.
Mhm.
And be kind to other artists.
Well, yeah,
I'm always amazed, like some artists, I get it, you can be competitive and stuff, and, like, everyone wants to kind of, like, you feel like
which
there's,
makes
like,
no
a
sense.
yeah, like, there's not a limitation to the work, like, there is a lot of work out there. You just have to, like, keep getting better, like, no one's taking your job, I guess, if that
Well,
makes
no,
sense.
you guys
Um,
can't offer the same thing. That's
exactly.
it. It's a thumbprint. You guys don't have the same thumbprint, and
No,
unless you've actually got the talent and work, they can't take your work from you because they don't have your work. Does that make sense? Like, it's just it's just something that I really struggle with, and just like, oh, excuse me, competition shouldn't exist. It should not exist because it doesn't exist. You know, I don't know. Yeah.
it doesn't really, because I you end up working with people who are, like, the greats, and, like, if you're gonna be I've recently, like, was really lucky to go to San Diego and meet, like, all of the artists that, like, I absolutely love. And they're still working, and, like, technically, they're doing the same jobs that you're trying to get. I'm not gonna hate on people that have inspired me to be an artist.
No,
Like, they kind of set the bar, and, like, that forces me to be like, "Okay, I wanna learn, I wanna get as good as that," I wanna,
that's it.
develop
And they're
my
usually
own style
the
of
most
that.
humble as well. Like, they're so incredibly humble because they have been
They
through
are
the ropes. And yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
just find
that's
it's
the
all the
one
youngins that
thing.
just need, like, watch yourself, check yourself.
Yeah, yeah, it really is that
Yeah.
because they're incredibly Yeah, incredibly there's always, like, I hear people saying, like, "Don't meet your heroes," and I'm like, "Not not if they're artists, because they
Mm,
are genuinely, like, super nice." I did not have
yeah.
one bad, experience with anyone that I met. Um,
No.
yeah,
And
it's
if you do,
pretty
I always try and tell myself, like, could have been a bad day, and plus also, you know, when you're, like, meeting them for the first time, you get God complex and you start stuttering and then sort of, like, half drooling and you just look like an absolute spastic. And then,
Yep.
yeah,
So
you don't know how you're being perceived as well, so, yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
exactly, yeah. I that's me every time. I'm always just
And
like,
getting
"Give
better.
me a second to compose myself," and then be like, "Hello."
Yeah. Or what is it when they actually come to you like, "Oh god, you're a huge inspiration, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
are you really sure?" Like,
Yeah,
oh,
there's some people that are, like, super humble, and I'm just like, "Dude, you're partly the reason why I'm doing this." Like, I don't know
yeah.
if you get it. And they're like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah. Yeah, man.
"Are you okay,
You're
man?"
awesome. Yeah, you are awesome."
Oh.
But yeah, it's cool. I've really enjoyed the recent experience though, like, doing, like, conventions, like, that's kind of, like, been my new thing, like, and I've loved getting
Mhm.
to meet, like, artists in Australia, like, One was quite funny was, getting to meet, Alex Trepevsky,
I was
who,
about to
like, I
say,
met
I
him.
saw you and Trip talking.
Yeah, so
Good guy.
he like I did my first convention was in Canberra, and he was just
Mhm.
like the next one over, and I was just like, "Hey, man, like, just nice to meet you." And then turns out he lives like 10 minutes down the road from me, and I'm like,
Oh, does
"Wow,
he?
that's pretty crazy that you do your entire life as an artist in this like little square box at home, and then you realize there's all these artists within like 30 minutes of me, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
Yeah, we're all living in shoe boxes, just eating like baked beans on toast to make sure that we survive.
yeah, pretty much."
Yeah,
But yeah,
no,
that's been a really good experience, getting to,
that's good.
meet everyone and see everyone's on their kind of journey. By the way, you are
Yeah.
killing that Loki. Loki
Oh,
looks
thank you.
awesome.
I'm
That is so
pra-
cool.
pleasantly surprised. Like, have you heard of a website called Sketchfab?
Yes, I have.
This is an
I'm trying
This
to
is an Alex thing. Well, I think Alex told me once, but then I stumbled on it like a year later. So it's just like this. If anybody's looking for really good like 3D models that you can rotate, it does have its limitations if you don't actually have like a program to actually download the 3D model, but it allows you to like search for something that you're looking. So I just looked up like a Loki 3D model and I just turned him. However, I was thinking like I was vibing more of like an upshot, and then yeah, I just screenshotted it, done. And it's got like
That's cool.
fists, it's got like stylized pirates or chests or I don't know, whatever you're trying to look for. And it's all these people that just sort of like make these 3D models themselves. And you can support them and you can purchase them. So if you do want to use them for like rigging or whatever like that, if you're into 3D work. But yeah, it's really good for references. Really good for references if you do need it.
I gotta check that one out. I don't I'm
Hmm.
sure he's probably mentioned it to me and I've just completely forgotten. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
sounds awesome.
underrated. Like, I get people like Clip Studio has the 3D models that you can manipulate and move, and it's got like the whole asset thing that comes with the subscription. You do have to obviously there's a lot of free stuff on there, whatever, but they're all posable, like I don't know models, whatever. If you do need like a pose that you're struggling, or I don't know swords. I think I got some arrows recently because I just really couldn't get the angle right, so I just got it to try and manipulate it somehow. I try not to use them much because I feel like I'll just start losing whatever skill set I've got.
Yeah.
But this Sketchfab, you can't actually manipulate them too much. It's literally just there for you to have a look at, unless you download it and put it into whatever program that actually can use 3D models. So yeah,
Mm.
it's a top tip for anybody listening and for yourself if you ever need like a cool thing, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That's really cool.
Yeah, and people do
Because
like their own
I do.
interpretations of like Wonder Woman and Batman and stuff. So there's lots of cool like stylized or non-stylized, quite hyper realistic versions and cartoon versions. So yeah, it's a bit of stuff for everyone. Sorry to cut you off.
No, 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 you're right. No, that's really cool. I've not seen stuff like that. So the
Mm.
part of my like kind of like my paint process, like once I've kind of done all the thumbnailing and I've got like a sense of the actual image, I'll go in and I use DAZ 3D to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that like I get my anatomy and perspective and all of that right.
Hmm.
Um and it can be also really helpful with like lighting and just making sure that, you're getting all your shadows and things correct so that everything feels real. Yeah, so I think,
Are you
yeah.
against people using that kind of stuff, or it like to a certain limit? Like for me, when it comes to using those things. I'm all for using it for reference and not tracing. The only time I say tracing is okay if you're not using it for a particular project. If you're just doing it for literally learning where those lights are sitting and understanding
Mhm.
why that works, I'm down for that. But try and get to the point where you don't need those to be able to do it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
what's
no,
your view?
yeah, I'm pretty much the same. So I kind of do two different things. So it's like if I always do I guess I try and make difficult things with lighting. And
Hmm.
that can be really hard to kind of get the realism correct if like sometimes like where you can't get the rim light or if you're using three different light sources, it can kind of help to even just get like the idea of the Terminator line, like where that kind of like light breaks into the shadows. So you kind of go like, oh, that's cool. I've got that shape. So
Mhm.
I'll use it in that way. And another thing that will do with it too, which is really cool, is like sometimes, so I got like a bit of a background in like photography as well. I'll like thumbnail something out and be able to get like a decent idea of the idea I'm trying to do. But maybe I want to
Mhm.
like change the camera lens to be like a 16 mil and go really fisheye with it. That can be really tricky to kind of like get, I guess, offhand, like without any kind of
Yeah.
reference. So it's good to kind of do that kind of stuff and just actually move the camera around a little bit. And you can find
Mm.
you get happy accidents where you're just like, oh, that's really cool. I wasn't thinking of that. So I will use it a fair bit. I'm actually, however, going to try and start to do a little bit more photography, because I already do that with, like,
Yeah.
taking photos of myself posing and things and hands and stuff, like, every hand that I draw is pretty much my hand in that pose that I've kind of, like,
Yeah.
photographed to make sure that it looks right.
Don't look in my
However
photo gallery on my phone because it's just all just really silly pictures of me. Just
Yep,
and
yep.
videos where I'm like, "Yeah."
That's I think that's every artist's phone. Don't look.
Yeah.
It's just like, we got a
I
ton
just
of
gotta
embarrassing
curate it.
photos.
Should just do a gallery of us or just, like, pick your worst, and we'll just put it out for show for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing, like, if you just look at any of my paintings, whatever pose, like, I've stood in that same pose at some point,
Even Rogue?
to try
Even
and get
Rogue?
uh, the rogue, in a way, yes, the 2 hands, are mine.
Yes, I love
Um,
it.
yeah, I think it's but you definitely don't want it to be a crutch. And,
No,
annoyingly, I have feel like when it comes to deadlines, you do kind of lean a little harder on it because you just need to get the work done quickly.
I
So I
get
can
that.
understand that. But yeah, I definitely try and like continue to do my life drawing, continue, yeah, do my like anatomy studies. Like I'm still trying to keep that fresh and learning. Like one thing that I'm trying to do now, by the way, I'm going really slow here compared to you. Holy crap.
No.
Is I try and I'm trying to get the style. I'm trying to like play a little
Yeah.
bit more stylistically. It's like similar to how you're doing, like a little bit more gestural and like these nice larger shapes.
Mm,
Yeah, so that I don't want everything to feel too realistic or too, um, yeah, I guess too real, I suppose. Like try and give it a little bit more kind of gesture, and give it a bit more fun. Because yeah, I think
mm,
lately I've just been working a little too realistic with my work. So I'm trying to kind of do studies of like comic artists, like even just, cross hatching, just
mm.
looking at like I love David Fincher's work. So I'll go and look at
Yep,
his work and just how he
perfect.
kind of like will render some muscles. And I like, then I'll go and do that on the painting. And, you may not see it, but if you look at the paint underneath, there's some cross hatching and things in there that I've kind of put in to kind of like draw, I guess, that art inspiration that I had as a kid of like comic art.
Yeah. I
If
feel
that
like
makes
that,
sense.
that cartoon, like, you would have had a lot of transferable skills from photography, especially when it comes to, like, composition and framing and, lining things up. I
Yeah.
have mentioned I've done animation. A lot of stuff is very similar in terms of, like, your composition and stuff and doing your screenshots and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of that sort of animated look to characters and,
Hmm.
like, it looks quite I don't know, God, what's the word? Like realistic, but it does have like that animated look to it, if that makes sense. I don't know. They were
Yeah.
talking about it today. I was talking about that live with Adams on it, and his stuff is very similar. And they made exactly the same point, and I wholeheartedly agree. It was like that is a very big skill set. I feel like that's a very animation based thing, and learning from that. I always recommend to people the Etherington brothers. They've got all those free tutorials on their blog. It was a blog spot. I don't know whether it's still the same, but I've got their books and stuff and just it's a Bible and all their stuff is so easy to understand and it's very similar style because I'm pretty sure they had the same background. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the stuff I've gotta look more at, I feel like, just this kind of like even like the Disney stuff, and just
Mm.
seeing how, like, they'll just, like, create forms, like and just, like, simplify anatomy and things like
Mm.
that, like, especially when I'm doing female characters, gotta,
God,
like,
who is it?
simplify
This
and use
guy.
nice curves and things.
Dean Yeagle. Incredible.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Like incredibly I probably can't show that kind of stuff. But like his gestural drawings. and then obviously it goes into his actual character, which is all very pin-uppy, but like going into like that, and his like animation background and stuff as well. So
Yeah, that's
very,
cool.
you know, just oh god, where's all these pin-up stuff? Like they, like I love his little character, like absolutely gorgeous. Like she's such a little babe,
Yeah, that's awesome.
you know?
Yeah, see, I can't do that. But,
Yeah, it's
like, every time
crazy.
I try and work a little more, like, yeah, cartoony, my stuff just
Mm,
looks weird.
that's the one. That's one of the books. They've got a few books, and you only get them on Kickstarter, I believe. I don't know whether they got a shop front yet,
Oh,
but this is one of the ones I managed to snag. But like, it's all very like short tutorials, really short. Like they're
yeah,
literally just
wow.
like, this is how you draw it, bending down. What's that one? Small characters, and they break it down to very simplified. And it's also like it's not just drawing characters, but it's also breaking down scenes, mid shot, wide shot. What are you going to have in the foreground? What are you going to have in the background? They'll just make it super simple shapes for people to understand. Yeah,
That's
the more
cool.
sim-
That is
I
real.
feel like the more simple you think, the better. Like think like blobs. That's kind of how I always imagine things anyway.
Yeah, 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 see, that's my difficulty. That's my
I'll
that's
give
what
a
I'm gonna
list for
I'm
you.
gonna so, yeah, I will gladly take that and go shopping later tonight.
Your wife,
'Cause,
your
yeah,
wife will
that's
just be like, how much did you spend again? Like, what happened last night?
dude, that was last night. I was like, "I had to get some paints," and she's like, "What's this 150 at the art supply?" And I was like, "I
You're
ran
like,
out of cadmium yellow." Oh, it's so lame, but I really did run out, and I was like, "Wow, I've actually used enough paint to actually finish a tube. That's kinda cool."
so
But
fun
yeah,
fact, I
that's
actually used
pretty
to
fun.
work in a fine art store in Perth. And
Oh,
we were like known for being so we had this group, the Watercolor Society. They used to come to our store
oh,
because we had all the Winsor and Newton stuff. We had all the little bricks, the little like watercolor bricks. I don't know what do you call
oh,
them.
lovely.
And yeah, the Watercolor Society. And so they
Yes.
used to come in all the time. And then you would get these mums, like it was in a very affluent suburb, and they would come in and they would be asking to get like the best paints for their kids and whatever. And they'd be picking out like, I want the best of the best. I'm like, this is the best,
Yeah.
which is cadmium red or cadmium yellow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it to your kid though. They're like, why?
No.
It's poison for one.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
might want to go for this stuff. And they just refused because they just wanted the best of the best. I'm like, okay, all right. You know why Van Gogh went crazy, right? Guy loved
Oh
his
my
yellow too
gosh.
much.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no,
I'm
no, no.
very careful with my paints.
Yeah,
I do not want any of the, problems that
the
they may
poisoning.
cause. That is one thing that, like,
Yeah,
people are just like, "Oh, I'd never touch oils because it's too dangerous," and I'm like, "Well, just don't be messy." That's pretty much
you can.
there's, like, you
What you
gotta
can
just
get
try and be
acrylics and
clean.
stuff that've got it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true, I suppose.
yeah.
It's
Just
just
depends how
it's
much you're willing
really
to
good
spend.
color. Yeah,
Anyway,
I guess that's true. But,
and
yeah, it's
I wanted to ask because oils obviously you need like a thinner, and I
mhm.
just could never deal with the smell of terps or God, what do we? So we call it
Yeah, it's pretty
meth
much
in
turfs.
Australia, but
Yeah,
it's not meth. It's
methylated
methylated
spirit.
spirits. I think there was something that my husband saw and people were freaking out because someone said, oh, they found meth here, blah, blah, blah. Someone was drinking meth or whatever. And people were like, what? They were drinking meth? It's like, no, methylated spirits. Not meth.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
funny.
um, but do you get like the water-based one? Like, do you have a problem with like the amount of smell that you have to deal with?
I well, I kind of don't mind the smell, but I
Okay.
have got, like, an odorless version of it,
Yeah. Which is not really
which
odorless, to be honest.
it still has a scent, but it's just definitely not as
Mm,
strong. But at the same time, I use it very, very sparingly, and I always have it covered up. So I'll
mm,
literally will like I have it like in like a little vacuum sealed little pot. Kind of looks like this.
smart.
This has got like
Yep.
some dirty water from yesterday's painting, um,
Delicious.
and so that's always sealed. And I will just literally will just dip my brush in, splash it off the side, and that's pretty much all I use. Like I don't go too
You don't
crazy
need
with it.
much, do you?
No, you don't. I do see like some people will kind of like tone to canvas with a lot of it. Like they'll
Mm.
literally will. fill the whole brush with it and add a little bit of paint to just kind of color the whole, just get rid of the white on the
Oh,
board. Um,
like an ink wash type thing.
yeah, pretty much like an ink wash, and
Mm,
so it's a quick way to kind of dilute the paint down and just kind of like fill it with color. But yeah, I don't tend to do that because I kind of work a little bit more piece by piece. So like yeah, I'll like do like one part of the background, other part of the background, and then I'll go to the foreground. And so
yeah.
yeah, I don't really use that much. So I try and be I guess careful with it.
Mm.
Because even the linseed oil that I use when I'm glazing, like that's quite pungent.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and so again, I use that very sparingly. So it doesn't
God, I
you don't
haven't
need that
talked.
much though.
No, no. It's just nice to talk art talk with someone who gets it, especially like that sort of like fine art kind of stuff. Because I'm so used to using inks and whatever, like Indian inks. That's kind of, we just kind of stick with black. But yeah, it's nice to gesso and everyone, can I get some gesso, please?
Just
Um,
drop some art words. Just like
yeah.
yes, got some gesso
Uh,
and yeah, it's look, it's a lot of fun. It's yeah, I have an entire table that is just paint supplies, which is insane.
yeah, cool.
Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with, and yeah, it's way better than the color picker in Photoshop. It's so much cooler
Yeah.
to like mix on a palette. Um,
And
yeah,
have you
so
seen
like
that video where people like do the color picking on their? They'll just try and do color study on digital, and they'll just color pick something, and it will come out with like I don't know, a pink when it looks completely different in the actual drawing. And they're like, "Why? That doesn't make any sense." It's like, well, isn't that kind of like the reason that you should, put the mouse down and pick up a paintbrush? I don't know.
it's a little bit like you can do art like you can do color studies digitally. You
But
just have to
it's like,
avoid. Yeah, you
mm,
just gotta avoid using the blend layers. Like, you just gotta, like
yes,
you gotta treat the color palette like a color palette, and not try and kind of,
mm,
I guess, guesstimate, like, the colors. Like, when people, I like, mind you, I I was a big overlay color dodge user. Like, I still use
don't
it
worry, I
for
am.
my, like
Don't worry.
yeah. You gotta use it, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just quick workflow, but you don't learn
Yep.
anything doing that. And
Nope.
so, yeah, it is good to have a little bit. I do paint differently now though, like when I work digitally because of it. Like I find myself
Yeah.
I can kind of look at the color picker a little bit more, I kind of know where I need to go, I suppose, in that little box.
That's
Whereas
cool.
before I'd be like, start with a local color and then just be like, oh, I'll make it a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. Oh, but now
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to make it cooler. I need to make it warmer. Like that's I guess the way I think about things is very different,
Yeah.
now. But
As
yeah.
someone who's gone through that process, what like if someone's tuning in or whatever, if they're interested, what would you recommend to someone who wants to start that journey of color theory? Like, what would you say to them to be would be the best option to start learning? Say if they're doing digital, whatever, same sort of path as you, or even if they're starting fresh, what's your tip? What's your top tip?
Geez, that's a tricky one. I would say
Mm,
painting from life is important.
yeah,
I think painting,
life
not
drawing.
even necessarily from life, but just painting from reference, just to kind of like pictures are good. Photography is fine to look at, to get a sense of like a color. And I think
Hmm.
you do need to study art, study other painters. Like I've done studies on artists that I love just to see like what colors they choose and why they choose it. Like, I love like everyone else. Everyone loves Frazetta's work. Like I've done several
Yes.
studies of his work, to kind of get a sense of like where he puts color and where he doesn't. And like, if you look at his stuff, it's kind of can look very monotone, but then there'll be like little splashes of color and accents. In terms of understanding color, I would suggest don't worry about color and just focus on values. Focus on
Yeah.
your
Smart.
lights, and your
Negative
darks.
space.
Um, yeah, think of that. Like just trying to make sure that the form looks right, that the lighting is correct and like falling on the figure or what have you properly. Because
Hmm.
you can just throw color on later. Especially digitally, you can just put like a fill. It's gonna look great. It's already gonna look good, and then it's
Yeah.
just the
If you got
leveling
the
up
values on there
to
already.
kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, because there's so many rules to it, and, like, I really do feel like color's one of those things where you just keep doing it, and then you start to get it. Like, I've
Come later.
listened to hundreds of hours of, like, color theory, and it never stuck in my head. It never made
Get no,
sense.
you got to do it by hand.
Um
It's not going to work by the
Yeah,
stick. I don't.
you just learn by doing. It really is one of those ones where you just do it, and then one day it clicks. Like, I still don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So when people are like, "Your colors
Same.
are really good," I'm like, "You don't understand the stress I went through trying to
Thanks, I
figure out what
guess.
color the shadow should be." Yeah, like, it looks great now. You didn't see the stress beforehand.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, like, I'm working on one. Hey, I love working in purples. Like, I don't know, I got a thing for purples and pinks. Um, so I'm doing, like, a piece at the moment, and, like, it's crazy to, like, hit up a skin tone, and you literally start with, like, a very muddy bluish purple, and you're like, "That
Mm.
doesn't look right. The skin's not bluish and purple."
Then
But then,
afterwards,
yeah, afterwards, once the entire canvas is filled, you're like, "Ah, it works. It works." But you will have to get through that kind of ugly phase where nothing makes sense until the entire canvas is filled. And you can't. Yeah, there's no teaching of that, I suppose. You just kinda gotta
no.
trust the process that we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out. Um,
Yeah. Your practice is going to
yeah.
be your best teacher. It's always going to be your best teacher.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly
like, definitely
agree.
get the theory, like, definitely get, like, color and light. Damn it, I'm horrible with n names, but it's very popular book, Color and Light. My head's behind.
Don't worry. Someone tells me their name and it's just completely gone immediately.
Anyone watching this will be, punching the screen because everyone knows his name, but I am horrible with names. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. Okay, I'm gonna have to Google it. Don't
You're
hate
like, I
me.
must know. And then you'll just hit
Um,
yourself, be like, why? I
oh, I'm horrible.
think I got to
Okay,
start
it was. All
inking
right.
this.
Oh, it's James Gurney's Color and Light. I apologize to everyone who I frustrated
Don't worry,
just
I
then.
didn't know, so it's okay. You've
Yeah,
enlightened me.
okay.
Get it?
All right. Yes.
Enlightened? I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm tired, everybody.
no, no, it's awesome. I love it. Yeah. So that book is amazing. Um, I've read that thing, you know, cover to back cover and read it multiple times and learnt a lot, but it's still when I worked, I did not get it. And like I said, you just have to keep doing it and then it starts to click.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I really should have brought an eraser because I've made a lot of boo-boos.
No? Well, you have been talking, so gotta give yourself
Yeah,
a little
this
bit
is
of
hard.
grace.
I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
how you do it.
Try and do it. Have you ever done one of the sketch panels at like Supernova or something? Yeah, see, that's interesting. When they got the
Yeah.
MCs just like throwing questions at you randomly from the crowd. You got to stop when you've only got 30 minutes to try and do a final piece for auctioning
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think you do alright. You gunning it on this thing, so I
The,
think you'd be good.
oh,
That's fine.
this is fine because I don't have a giant crowd in front of me. Like, ask me random
Uh,
questions about my life.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. No, like I need to get better at that though. I'm so used to just working at my own pace. I do need to get
Mm.
a little bit quicker and be able to kind of work um live because I do see people like doing sketches and stuff at conventions and I'd love to do that, but
It's good to do it a little
I
bit, but I think the consensus now that I've found is people actually want to um talk to you more than have you like head down. Like that's been a lot
Mhm.
of the feedback that a lot of artists have been getting, and it's just like that's the one big mistake I made in Sydney. I just like had my head down the whole time, and mind you, like I had a whole pile of commissions I needed to do, and I didn't have time to finish them off because my daughter got sick like a week out. And
Oh
so,
no.
like, I was trying to catch up, and that's why I was so busy that whole time because I didn't want to let anybody down. And really, I should have just said, "Do you mind waiting?" And there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, as an artist, you're
Yeah.
just like, really, just I can't let people down.
Yeah,
You know,
I get
it's a
that.
juggle.
Yeah, it really is. There's
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I agree though. I do find I find that when I'm drawing at the table, which I will do sometimes, I feel like just like people won't approach. They just, don't want to disturb. And so they'll
Yeah,
just kind of like walk away and they'll probably never come back.
yeah.
So yeah, I've taken to just kind of like just standing up and hanging out at the table and just looking approachable and then people like to
People love it.
happily come over and say hi. Yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, like, I draw all the time, so, like, I could take a break 2
Oh,
2 days out of
I
the
wish I
weekend
did.
and just, like, just chill. Um, but, yeah, if you're doing it's like, that's one thing that'd be cool to do conventions to bring to the show. I
Mm.
have had people ask about that, and I should probably start doing that. But, yeah,
What, like little
I've had it.
commissions and stuff?
Yeah, like, I've had, like, a lot of, sketch, cover commissions, like, people wanting to do, like,
Oh, yeah.
covers, comic cover. Yeah, commission, I suppose. Don't know what the proper term is.
Did you have
Yeah,
to
which
do
I'd
one
love
of
to
the
do.
the Power Ranger ones? Did you do one of the Power Ranger ones that were in Sydney?
No, no,
There was like
not
a guy.
me.
So there was a guy
No.
that went around and got like a whole set done. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
that's
I
awesome.
love
Yeah,
the sketch covers. They're great.
they're really, really cool. Like, and I see guys doing it, like, so Lipway seeing his art. I think he was at Sydney, and yeah,
He's not on the same level. That guy,
he's
holy
a gun.
moly, he
It's
just
just
like
like,
too quick for my brain to comprehend. He came up to me.
yeah,
He's like, "No, you're very methodical. You're very methodical, and you like to take your time." I'm like, "Yes, I know. I'm sorry, I'm not like you. I like to enjoy it."
yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's quite an ability, to be able to work that
Oh,
quickly. Like, it's
insane.
really
He's
impressive.
huge
And
talent.
also keep the quality up too, which is another thing. Like, you can work fast and it can, like, not look great, but he get manages to do both, which is insane.
Yeah. And I'd
Um,
like to blame it on being a parent and taking my time, but he's also a parent, so I don't really have that option. So excellent.
well, he does a lot of, sketch cards and things as well, so I
Yeah.
think yeah, I guess he's used to
Sketch
maybe
cards
just
are
like
sketch cards are smart. Sketch cards are really smart. Like that little $40 value card that I did for I think I did a last one, but they worked out great. Really good.
yeah?
Mm.
Yeah,
Like
so that's
good
that's
value
something
items
that,
for everybody.
yeah, gotta do more of that because people wanna have, I think, that's one thing I've noticed is people really like original art, like having
They
original,
do.
I didn't think that was a thing, like, at
It
all.
wasn't for a while,
Um, yeah, so that's been kind of a
especially in
big,
Australia. Mm.
yeah, like, that's why I noticed, I, like, met a lot of, really nice people, and they come and show me their collections, and I'm just like, "Wow, like, you've got
Mm.
art from everyone. That's amazing." Like,
Mhm.
that's such a, like, kind of prized possession to have, like, it's so, so cool.
I went to Royd who does like
Yep,
he
from
it's gonna be
Supernova.
another episode. Yep. So I went to his house yesterday because he's a Perth fella, and we went through his collection as for like one of the episodes that we've got, and his collection
Oh,
dates
wow.
back to like the 70s, 80s, like just incredible. And he like even his name is like written into some sequentials by some very big names, and it's just like this guy just knows everyone. He's just mates with everyone, and
That's so
I,
cool.
like a testament to him. I did mention in the episode, which will air before this one, um, that I do say like it is him being himself and being a genuine kind of person. Go back to the fact that I said like do good, be good, get good, and he's the same. And he's just like he knows like he's mates with everyone. Like
Yeah,
insane. Like some of the work is incredible. Like he's got this Mignola piece before like Mignola was like Mignola, like, like it's like really stylized and blocky and stuff. He's got this beautiful A piece. It's just like, and it's painted and it's beautiful, like this really nice muddy greeny blues, like really beautiful. And
wow.
yeah, I like left there. It's the second time I've been there, but just looking at them all again, I was like, damn.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Mm,
he's lovely. Like, I've been lucky, fortunate to meet him a few times, and he's
good guy.
mentioned a little bit about his collection. I was just like, yeah, the names he was dropping, I was just like,
He talks it
"What?"
down. Yeah, he's got a very very good collection. And there's one piece, the poster for Iron Man 2, the movie. Um, I won't babble on too much because obviously people are going to listen to this anyway. He's got the poster and the CD cover, which has got, the 2 on the front and says Iron Man 2. The guy who drew it named like blank, it's too late to be able to remember anything.
Is it
He's got the
Ryan
pencils. He's got
Mighty?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, he's got the pencils for it. They just gave it to him. Didn't buy it. So he's got the poster, he's got the CD cover, and he's got the actual pencils for that poster. It's just insane.
Yeah. That's so cool. Oh,
Half the
that's
stuff
well,
he owns is just given to him. Lucky
yeah,
bugger.
I do. Yeah, that a lot of artists are very generous. Like, you just gotta be nice.
Yes.
Like, the amount of sketch cards I've given a like, I give away all of I shouldn't put it out there, but pretty much,
He
like, I'll
doesn't,
be like,
everybody.
"No, I don't." But no, like, there's a lot of, like, especially little kids, like, if their parents come up, I'm like, "Hey," they're like wearing
I'm
Spider-Man, and
down for
I've
that.
drawn a Spider-Man. I was like, "Buddy, this is yours." And they're just like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's yours." So, yeah, it's
I
awesome.
love that. Yeah. I've got there was a little girl that came up and she really wanted a Princess Peach. I was like, yeah, I got you. I got you, my
Ah,
girl.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's just fun. Like, it's just the kids get
Mm.
such a kick out of it.
And
Um,
yeah, growing up and not having did you have this sort of dream when you were young as well? Like it was always sort of like on your radar when you were, in high school or even pre-primary?
to work in
Like,
comics?
yeah,
No, not really. Well, it's one of those
kind of
things where, like, I
something
always
art
loved it,
based.
but, funnily enough, like, I just didn't think that was a thing Australians could do. Like, I think I just grew up like, we're so far away from everything. Like, I remember wanting to be like, pretty much wanting to be an artist, like, wanting to do illustration, but there was no jobs for it, and I remember doing the career like, in year 12, you go and do your career day, whatever, um, and like, "Oh, what do you wanna do?" And it was just like, "Oh, and it's something to do with art," like, I like art, like, that was my thing, and they're like, "Oh, there's no jobs for that. You wanna do graphic
Teachers are
design
like,
or"
mm-mm,
Yeah, pretty much.
mm,
It was
get
like
you
it's
something,
like you can
do
do
doctor or something.
printing or graphic design. I'm like, "That's boring." And
Yeah,
but then at the time, 3D had just sprung up, and so, I was like, "Oh, I love" like, the Matrix movie just come out and effects was a
yeah,
thing, and I was like, "Oh, you could do 3D animation." Like, there was this new studio, new school opening up, at Enmore TAFE,
yeah.
Silicon Graphics. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of art. Yeah, I'll go do that." And so I went and did, like, a diploma in 3D animation. Didn't do too much with it. Like, got to do some
Yeah.
work, but I ended up my first gig ended up being working at a print shop, so, the
You the
council
same
was kind of
trajectory as
right.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I feel
man.
like there's a lot of artists, I feel like we all start doing business cards somehow. Like, we've all done business cards and catalogs for things. Oh,
But
it's
even
just
just the
fun.
animation stuff, and when you say print shop, do you mean like paper print?
Yeah, paper print, like,
Okay,
actual,
yeah.
like,
I was screen
catalogs.
printing,
Oh, that's cool, though. I like that,
like
I would've
T-shirts and
preferred
merch.
that.
It
Yeah,
was a lot of fun.
wow. That is cool. That's it. I'd much prefer that. I was doing,
Mm.
like, business cards for plumbers.
Oh,
It's
yeah. No, don't worry, I did a
not
lot of
that much
shirts for
fun.
plumbers and electricians
Oh, did
and
ya? Ah, okay.
breweries. A lot of I also used to do a lot of beer can designs too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Look, it's funny. It was like one of those things, I don't know if you were the same, where, like, if you got given the opportunity to do, like, a mascot or a character for a logo for a company, you get excited. You're like, "I'm drawing."
Oh, something different. It's not just text and a freaking symbol. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like very excited when companies would come in and ask for that. Um, but yeah, no, the doing this, yeah, it wasn't really a thing. I feel like I was just
Mm.
I kind of fell into doing games. Like, I thought I was going to work at a gaming studio, like a kind of triple A kind of thing in Australia. Ended up
Mhm.
being like the slots industry, so doing art for that, which
Mhm.
has been great. Like, man, it's
Good
in terms
money.
of being an artist in Australia and being full-time employed, it definitely helps. Um, and yeah, I've been doing that for a fair while, but I guess I've always kept, the dream, I guess, alive of well, I guess I just kept the wanting to learn and be a better artist, I guess, alive is really
Yeah.
what I've done. and just kind of
Everyone
like,
finds their own little place eventually, and I think
yeah,
probably same for me and you. It's just kind of ended up where we are now, and this is kind of what feels natural. So yeah,
yeah,
get it.
yeah. It's quite I feel quite fortunate,
Mm,
really, and,
mm,
like, I think that's the one thing that, like, I'll, like, talk to like, we've done a few talks. Well, I do, talk at pretty much every of the, Oz Comic Cons, and, like, I do a talk pretty much about, like, working, as a professional artist and how to get in,
mm.
and just the main tips, and, like, I always have, parents with their kids with concerned looks about, like, "Is my child going to be poor?"
Please don't
And I'm just
encourage
like,
them. Don't do it.
"Mm, no," I'm just like, "Your child's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine, like,
I
and
mean,
he's gonna be
it's gonna be
happy, but it's
rough.
just gonna take time."
Mm,
Yeah, it's just gonna take time, but the one thing I do say is, like, you really gotta love it, like, because like I said, like, I do this even when I'm not getting paid, so if you're not in that mindset, it's gonna be really hard.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Learn to hustle. I
prepare.
think like the amount of work to get to where I am, where I can actually be freelance at home, and albeit that I am, not sole caregiver, still married, still got
Yeah,
daddy. But
yeah,
I look after Luna primarily. I go pick her up from school or whatever it is, and but this is what I do full time, well, full time as much as I can. And God, it was such a bloody slog to get to this point, and like I can't thank my husband enough and my family. But there was always those moments where your family, like especially when I was younger, and they were just like, "Do you know what you're doing?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what I want to do." And like, I get it. They only want the best for you. And as a parent now, which I'm sure you understand, it's just like you do want the best for them, but you also want their heart to be full, right?
yeah, yeah, it's a really tricky one, like, we all want our best for our kids,
Mm,
and, like, my parents were I was quite lucky that my parents were pretty supportive. They were kind
hmm.
of like, yeah, they weren't like, "Go for it," but
To-
they weren't like,
yeah,
"Don't do it,"
same.
either, right?
Yeah.
So which is good, and that kind of allowed me to kind of, I guess, keep the keep it going.
Keep the
But
fire
yeah, like,
alive.
it's still around, like, there's plenty of jobs, and
Mm,
it just takes time. It's just like anything, it takes time, like, doctors go and do, like, 6 like, not to say we're doctors, but, like, doctors will
God,
do,
no.
like, 6 years at uni and then 2 years at a hospital and another 2 years, and
Mm,
then takes them 10 years to be, like, a doctor. Art's a little bit like that. It can take, like, up to 10 years before you might reach a level that's somewhat professional, like, once you take
hmm.
it seriously. Like, I only started taking art seriously when I was, like, 30. Like, before that, it was just a fun thing, and then I was just like I think I was who was I watching? I think I was watching an Ian McKay, his name? I'm gonna ruin his name again, I'm sorry.
Like Ian McKellen or something.
But no, not Ian McKellen. He's a artist, for he did a lot of the art for the Phantom
Not
Menace,
Gandalf?
concept artist.
Really?
No, not Gandalf. No, no. He allowed
Why I
me to
went there, I don't
pass this
know.
one. No, but either way, he had, one thing that he said he did every year was, there's the Bridgman's Complete Guide to Anatomy book, which is a little bit that
Mm,
thick, and he would
mhm,
go through every year and draw everything in that book, and that's
mhm.
kind of how he kind of like kept his, understanding of anatomy fresh and available so that he could always pull from it and not require reference all the
Oh,
time. And
yes.
so I did that. Yeah, I literally that was my kind of like, I'm just gonna do this and see if something sticks. And so I literally took that book and drew every single image out of it, and then I was like, "Hey, I understand anatomy now. Hey, I can draw an arm. I kind of know what muscles are in the forearm. Like, I can kind of
Mm,
do that without having to get the reference." And then I was like, "Oh, okay. I can learn that." I think that's what I think I figured out is like, "Oh, I can learn this." It can happen. And so I was like, all right, I'll go study the next thing. And so after that, it was portraiture. And I was like, that was something that was only for like the Rembrandts and like, the fine art people. But then I just went and studied a ton of noses and mouths and eyes and faces and ear, like everything. I just drew pages of it. And then I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do portraits now." Like, I get it. Like, it just takes that amount of study to kind of like realize it's like, "Oh, this is working." If I spend time focusing on these like areas that I'm weak in, I'm gonna get better.
Mm,
And did that really actually kind of happen? That's where I was like, "All right, maybe I can do this."
yeah.
Yeah, around about
I
that.
know a lot of like people go like, "Well, that's going to be boring, just drawing eyes and over and over and over again." But no, once you get that little switch in your brain, it becomes just like so invigorating and so exciting that you can implement it from then onwards, and everything's just going to be elevated. So yeah, find pleasure in that monotony. That's for sure.
Yeah, it will be hard, but yeah, the moment you draw a nose and you look at it and you're like, "Hey, that's actually half good." Like,
That's me
maybe I'll
now. I'm
draw
like,
a
oh, this nose is not bad.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, "Hey, this is working out.
No,
This is good."
yeah,
But
he's not
yeah,
got a
it takes
wonky donk
doing it.
nose.
You just
Mm.
gotta do it until it starts to work, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
All right, bring your
it's
piece up to the camera so I can see because that's
oh, please don't look at it. It's horrible. I don't have an eraser, so I'm gonna like
no,
this is like a mess. This is such a mess. I apologize, everyone.
no.
I promise I can draw. I don't know
That's so
if I'm in the
good.
right. What am I
There
doing? Am I in
you
the
go.
right
Yeah,
spot?
right. No, other way. Go
Other
left.
way?
Other way. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
There
got
we
a bit
go.
of a lag here. All
Ta-da!
right. Yeah. Look at that horrible
Nice.
drawing.
Oh,
So
it's just
sorry.
got my. Sorry, it's got my chin like right in this camera. That's really
Yeah.
flattering. Sorry. We're just all
No.
yeah a little bit rough here. Mm,
Yeah.
and that's
Yours looks
awesome.
freaking awesome. Yours looks
Oh,
so
thank you.
cool, man. It's got like a
Don't know how I
Marvel
managed.
Marvel. Sorry.
I don't know how I managed because I'm just absolutely cooked from today, and I've got a deadline for tomorrow that I'm just like, is it gonna happen? Let's yeah, let's just go with it.
Yep. No, dude, you killed it. It's got like this
Thank
like
you.
Marvel Rivals vibe to it. It looks badass. I love it.
Ah, I
That's
need to
so
look into
cool.
that. I'm keen. Like,
Yeah.
as much as I want to look at yours, it's just a little bit pixelated, so I'm going to look at it later. But I'm excited.
No, it's not
And you have
great.
to show.
It's not
It'd be
great.
good, like because this won't be on for a little while. So it'd be good to like if you do use this, if you don't, whatever. It'd be good to see what your final piece is either way. So people like to
Yeah,
see process.
I will be using it. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this up. I've just made a mess of it, and gone too small on the composition,
Especially
which is
without
annoying.
no, especially without an eraser, I get it.
Yeah.
Or if you're in
So
Australia,
might want a rubber. Yeah.
a rubber. And yeah,
That's cool.
we've hit an hour and 20, so I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah,
As much as
awesome.
speaking of rubber. So thank you so much for joining me. Is there anything that you want to particularly plug, or where can we find you, and anything exciting that's on the horizon for you?
Yeah. So mainly I'm pretty active on Instagram. So just Ben Brady. Also on Twitter, I'm on there sometimes. I do have a Patreon. If I do post videos on Instagram though as well, like, but the
Mhm,
Patreon's there for like anyone who's interested in commissions or original art. That all goes up for sale there first. And otherwise, you can find me at Oz Comic Con. I don't know if this will be out before then, but Oz Comic Con Sydney in
mhm.
2 weeks. And then I think I'll be down in Melbourne as well for Oz Comic Con Christmas
Okay, nice.
uh, in December. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm about. But yeah,
yeah.
feel free to
You'll
reach out
see
and
us.
say hi.
You'll see. Yeah, I'll put all the links down in the comments as usual. Like typical YouTube tag thing. Uh, but thank you again, and I can't wait to see how your piece turns out when you do finish the commission, which would be great. And I think the person grabbing it's going to be very chuffed. And I'm chuffed because I got to hang out. Nighttime's not usually a thing for me. I'm usually a morning gal, so it was actually nice to wind down and actually do a cool down sketch for the day. So thank you so much for
No
joining
worries.
on
No,
and
thank you,
then yeah,
Lauren.
being a
Thank you
part
so
of it.
much for
And
having me.
no problem at all. And doors always open, and that was great. It was really nice to have a yarn and actually get to know each other a little bit. So, and no doubt we'll probably catch each other at. I think I'll do Sydney again next year, probably in June.
Yeah,
See how I
nice.
roll because the It burns me out too much. I can't travel. Anyway, thank you again.
So
And thank you to everybody for coming aboard. And we'll catch you next time on Sketch Biz. Bye.